Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our honourable speaker, Mr. Mohammad Shahmi bin Abdul Majid, our guests, Haziq Haikal bin Zulkifli, advisors, facilitators, the committee and all future leaders. It is my pleasure to be the host and the moderator for today's program. My name is Alehana, and on behalf of the committee, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have been graced by the chance to gather in this momentous event. Before we move on, let us begin with the recitation of Dua that will be led by Abdul Hadi bin Shah Isham.
Yes. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Rahmanirrahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka khallaqul azim. Innaka sami'un alim. Innaka ghafurur rahim. Innaka rabbul arshil azim. Rabbana alayka tawakkalna wa ilayka anayna wa ilaykal masir. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
Once again, welcome to Leaders of the Future, LOTF. This program is organized by the UNITEN Leadership Exploration and Development, ULEAD, with collaboration of Yayasan Tenaga Nasional as our main sponsor. This program is held to instill confidence and the leadership skills in each participant. We hope you will learn a lot today. There will be a lot in store for all of you today, so make sure you buckle up as it's going to be a fruitful and engaging event. Before we start our program, I would like to invite Ayman Hazim, our director, to give an opening speech and convey his spiel.
Thank you, Alehana. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our honourable speaker, Encik Omar Shami bin Abdul Majid, our respected guest, Haziq Haikal bin Zulkifli, the committee of the future. Welcome to Leaders of the Future, a ULEAD program sponsored fully by Yayasan Tenaga Nasional, YTN. My name is Ayman Hazim bin Arif Razman, the Program Director for Leaders of the Future, or for short, LOTF. First and foremost, we, the committee, would like to mention our deepest heartfelt gratitude to Yayasan Tenaga Nasional, YTN, for enabling us to conduct this program. The assistance and willingness to help us make this program a reality will hopefully be a motivation for our participants to conduct their own programs in the future. Secondly, we would also like to thank ULEAD, UNITEN Leadership Exploration and Development Program, for giving us the platform and the opportunity to explore leadership qualities from within the committee ourselves and also for the participants. I also want to send a warm thank you to both our speakers, Encik Mohammad Shami bin Abdul Majid and also Haziq Haikal bin Zulkifli, for making time to attend our program today, delivering and sharing their experiences and insights with us all later on. Last but not least, I would like to thank the whole committee for your endless support and hard work leading up towards this program. Your cooperation is hugely and greatly appreciated. And for all of you future leaders, we welcome you to the Leaders of the Future. We hope you truly enjoy today's program and may you benefit of today's main talk, forum, and group activity to the fullest extent for your future leadership roles. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to Ayman Hazim for the opening speech. Without any further ado, it is my great honor to introduce to all our speaker and guest for today. Our first panelist and speaker is Mohammad Shahmi bin Abdul Majid, our very own super senior and alumnus of University Tenaga Nasional. Currently, he is a cloud service engineer in IoT. His achievements include, among others, Enhanced Track Award for Academic Excellence, Award for Best Overall Graduate, Leadership and Extracurricular Activities. Our second panelist today is Haziq Haikal bin Zulkifli, who is also an exceptional YTN scholar. He is currently in his final year of electrical power engineering, and he is one of the recipients for the Student Mobility Exchange Program to the United Kingdom under the sponsorship of Yayasan Tenaga Nasional. In addition, he also led the 2018 Sukan YTN Committee. I think that's an extensive and comprehensive enough of an introduction. Without any further delay, may we request Mr. Mohammad Shahmi bin Abdul Majid to deliver his speech on how to achieve an effective leadership in our future working career revolving around IR 4.0.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, everyone. So before we start, just want to check if my sound is clear to everyone.
It's very loud and clear, sir.
Okay, good, thank you. So thank you very much to the committee for inviting me to give such an honorable this topic today, which is leader of the future. I'm very delighted to be able to among from my first journey as a people who work outside until today. Yeah, and I think nowadays we have a new norm which totally make things crazier. I mean, like people doesn't think that they will be able to work from home, which I think is kind of new norm, right? So I think without further ado, let me share my screen on this one. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me check. All right. So everyone able to see my screen now? Ayman or the MC? All good from your end?
Got mine.
Yep, everything's good, sir.
We can see,
Okay, thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because since we are doing a presentation from online, right? So I need to ensure that um, everyone able to see it, because sometimes some of them might not be able to load this one, right? So as for today's topic, I will be discussing, maybe we will have a discussing on the leader of the future. So just a short description of me. I'm Muhammad Shami bin Abdul Majid, or you can call me Shami. So I live in Sepang. So at the moment, I'm working from home totally. So without further ado, let's go into the slide. So first thing first, why? Why leader of the future? So from my point, I think we can keep this question first, and let's take a look on a clip that I'm going to show you in a moment. So I would like to let you guys to observe and think what you can learn from this short clip. Okay, so second. I will be start a bit more. I just need to configure something.
You know what's gotta be done. Move it, move it, move it. Hey, you there, pick up the pace. You're falling behind. Come on, let's go. Everyone, pull together. We got the rescue on our hands. You there. Here we go. Dari tuna. Ayo. Wimpo. Oke, pivotara. Pomelo?
Uh-oh. Okay, so I hope you guys able to see the video clip from the beginning. So yeah, so based from the short clip, may I know your observation on this video clip with our topic today? Maybe someone can point me up on this one. Anyone?
It has something to do with teamwork.
Okay, good. Anyone? Others? Okay, if no one, so let me explain on this one. I believe this is like a quite a morning for everyone. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay. So, I believe the first scenario is more on the end and the antitheta. So let me give a brief on the first one. So as you can see, the antitheta trying to suck the ant, right? It want to eat the ant. So a leader saw that happen, and he coordinate on their team on how to tackle this situation. So here, what you can see is how the leader able to perform a critical thinking on the situation. On top of that, a quick decision required, else everyone will be sucked into the entity and die in the stomach of that one. So it's better to travel in the group, as the video said. And for the second case, as you can see, is between the penguin and the whales. So the penguin just standing in the iceberg, and then suddenly a killer whales floating around want to eat them. And in this kind of thing, I think one of the penguin act as a leader, and then think as fast as possible how to save their group from being eaten by the killer whale. And as again, it's a need to be a quick decision. So he told the penguin to uh, to go to the end of the iceberg so that iceberg can be tipped up, and then the killer whale not able to eat them. So in the second case, what I can say from my observation is that you need a teamwork, and everyone need to understand what they are facing, and give a full cooperation. Else, even though you are as a teamwork, a leader, you team, without cooperation, I think you won't be able to solve the issue that you are facing. So this is also applied to your daily life in the future. Yeah. And for the third one, as you can see, there's a bunch of crab, and I think the crab are walking scattered. And if you see, the bird is aiming the small crab, because I believe the small crab, the bird think this small crab is weak, so he trying to attack that one instead of the other one, because the other one is kind of big, right? So 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 from here, as you can see, the small crab is seeking for a help from his colleague or friends, and their friend, without hesitation, they help to his friend, and then the bird not be able to eat that small crab. So small doesn't mean you are powerless, but as long you have a team, you have a friend, you have a colleague, you should be able to go through everything together. So that's for the case number 3. While case number 4 is kind of unique, because you have like a teamwork, but then you have like one colleague that just stand by to put the bulb inside there. They want to change the bulb because the bulb, I believe, is broken. But then uh, the one that holding the bulb keep laughing to their friend and just mocking them around. I think, are you able to change that bulb alone? And then this one calling for his friend for the help. And then they try to, it still got some height need to be go through. So the 1 million that keep laughing again, and then this friend asking another group of help, so they be able uh, to touch the bulb, and then from that one, they need just to unplug the bulb. So somehow thing doesn't work well, and I think those the minions standing at the side just keep laughing, and I think it just make things worse. At the end of the day, I mean the group of the minion able to unplug the bulb, but the one that minion that holding the bulb doesn't do its job properly, making the bulb just smash down and just went out. So here, what I can say that even though you have a team, you have a leader, but somehow in a real life, you might observe that there will be a team or a member that kind of like a toxic for me. So uh, so uh, so from my point of view, I kindly avoid being those kind of toxic team player, because it just ruined the group. So yeah, so that's the thing. At this point, are you guys able uh, to 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 grab what I'm trying to say? Because I just want to have like a two-ways observation. So if let's say you have any question, jump in and I can try to answer that one. Yeah, it's all good.
Yes, sir. Everything's perfect.
Okay, cool. And lastly, the case number 5, which is 3 ants want to cross a broken bridge. So in the beginning, they don't have any clue, but as you observe, one of the ant told his friend, why don't we do like this one? So if let's say if you're working alone, right, you might not be able to solve the thing. But if let's say you work in a organization or in the team or in a department, I believe more head is better than one, because different people, we have their different ideas. So I think this idea you can use depend on the situation. So one of the ant told them, we do like this one. So they just pick up the long wood, and then they just try to cross over. And if you take a look on the video, different ant have a different weakness or afraid. So some afraid to cross over. So I think in this kind of situation, you need to give a full support to your teammate. And in terms of the support, I believe different people might require a different kind of method to support. Yeah. So we can't do like one method is work for everyone. It doesn't, I mean, rarely occasion, it doesn't work like that, because we as a human is a unique, right? So different people, we have their different uniqueness, strength and weakness. So I believe we just need to know and understand people well in a team player, as a leader or as a team player. So what you will be able to help to solve this thing. Yeah. So, and more important, just need to have a coordination with others. Yep. And overall of this clip, right? So you need to have a plan, a goal, because without a goal or without a plan, you won't be, you don't have any clear mind what you want to do next. So that is really important uh, in yourself. And I think from my perspective, being a leader, it doesn't mean that you need to lead a couple of people or a couple of group. Being a leader can be you lead yourself, because if you're not able to lead yourself, then a high possibility that you might not be able to lead others people. Yeah, I think that is my my opinion on this one. Right. So this is like the summary from my observation, that we need someone to lead to handle this situation. Critical thinking and fast action required. We need a teamwork, and please avoid being a toxic teammate, because it doesn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't give a benefit to the people. And lastly, go in a group instead of solo. So this is the observation from the clip. So I think maybe different people will have their own different view, but this is like a general overview from my end. Yeah. So let's take a look on the question. So why we speak about leader in the future? Is it enough with what we observe in the clip just now for the future? Like we need someone to lead, critical thinking, fast action, teamwork, and go in the group instead of solo. Is that sufficient for the future? What do you think, guys? Anyone can give opinion on this one? Guys, hello.
Yes, sir. I think it is more sufficient to have one group to make one decision when everyone can brainstorm and hence the good decision lah.
All right, cool. Thank you for your opinion. So any other one? I would like to get another opinion, because this is this one. There is no right or wrong. I just want to get to know how your view on this one, point of view on this one. Yeah. Anyone? One more people for their opinion on this one. Then we can move on the next slide. So nobody want to volunteer. Can I pick up from this list of group?
So you can just pick anyone.
Aiman, maybe Aiman, you can share your opinion on this one.
What was the question, sir?
So, do you think that the observation that we saw in the previous clip is sufficient for the future?
I think there's certainly an essence of realism and truth in there, and I think there's much more layers that goes into leading a team and leading an organization than just what it was shown in the video. I think that was
Okay.
a surface of what a leader might expect or might endure in managing a team. There's much more, I guess, layers into that goes into being a team than just that rather than just what was shown earlier.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for your opinion. Yeah. So I think, I think as I must say, there's an essence to be a leader in the short video, but I believe in the future the challenge will be a lot more. For example, like nowadays with COVID, coronavirus, do you think that if you have this kind of just essence, will you be able to survive? I think it may be or it may be not. So in order for us to be able to be the leader of the future, so I think I will share some of my experience, what I think that relevant with current situation, especially for the student. And this one I believe it might be able to help you in the future. Yeah. So so let's go to the next slide. So as you can see, the world is becoming more complex and change is accelerating exponentially. Yeah, you see, for example, like the cellular phone technology, your handphone, your smartphone. So this is like an example from my end. So I think in 1983, I believe the phone or the cellular phone is just meant to be to call people during that time, and then the technology of the telephone evolved uh, together with the semiconductor. So due to the chip become more smaller and smaller that we can fit into like a small phone. So as you can see in the 1983, the phone is kind of bulky. I think before that it's very bulky. We call it as Arthur. I think during that time you haven't born, same with me, but the Arthur is kind of like a bag that you need to bring and then you can call. Yeah. So due to the emerging of the technology, the technology is very fast, making the chip is very small. So it allows for us to send a message via the SMS, the short message services. So during that time, I think people seldom like uh, they did call, and at the same time they do also send an SMS because SMS is kind of cheap. Not too cheap. It's kind. I think during that time, I if I'm not mistaken, one SMS cost me like 20 cent, 30 cent. But I think it's yeah. I think it kind of like durable during that time. And then moving forward to 2003 until 2006 and nowadays. So instead of the phone, uh, instead of you can call people, you can SMS, you can, I think you can do a lot of things like your computer. And I believe your phone right now is very powerful than your laptop. I believe maybe some have like quad-core 64 gig RAM, 128 gig memory or 256. So and on top of that one, your phone technology, now we have like AR, the augmented reality, which you can what we call, you can create an object as it seems as a reality. For example, like the Instagram filter PS5, I believe it's kind of like viral nowadays. People are doing those filter. So this kind of technology, we don't know the limit of it. I think maybe next time, I think we will able to see people in front of us, like a VR, more reality. So who knows? So this technologies So this kind of technology, as you see, is very, very fast, speeding up. I think some of people might lost track on it. So in the one of the futurists predict that the artificial intelligence will create runaway advancement in technology, resulting in unfathomable changes in human civilization. So I think I just make this simple so that I believe nowadays people are more keen on talking about big data, AI, how AI able to predict their sales, their stock market movement, or people behavior. So this kind of technology that we don't know the limit, make think that we not be able to understand what will be the next human civilization will be. Who knows? Because nowadays people like, I think last time I think that whenever people go to university, their main goal is to be able to accepted to work in a big company, get a higher pay salary, and so on. But I believe nowadays, due to the technology changes, right? Some of people just being like YouTubers, just give a review, and then he or she able to gain a lot of salary more than people who work 9 to 6. So this kind of this human civilization is changing, and I don't know what will happen in the future. So while this concept may feel far away, the potential technology disruption has dramatic implication for the skill we need to develop to be successful. So as I mentioned in the as the futurist mentioned, we don't know what will happen. So if we are in the same part of the skill that we have nowadays, like the one in the short video, so I think it not enough for us to be able to survive. It not enough for us to be able to blend or integrate with the future. So that's the thing. And I'm really worried if, let's say, the youth nowadays are just thinking of like a short term, for example, like become a YouTuber, gain a lot of money, that's it. I mean, yeah, you can be a rich people, but in the end, what your plan in your life. So I think that is important. I believe leader of the future must have a plan for their life path. So just think that by yourself, in yourself, okay? So the main agenda that I'm going to tell you is more on the skill that we must have as a leader of the future. I believe if you take a look on the leadership books or ebook or video, there is a lot of this one. And I think the skill that I put in my slide is more true that relevant with us. And I think this is like a essential for you to be able to be a leader of the future. Right. So the first main skill that I think must have is the learning agility. So learning agility is mean that as the pace of change accelerate, only those who can respond to change gracefully will, with a learner mindset, will succeed. So what does it mean? So that you need to be able to keep learning every day, every time. Because if you don't keep learning, I think the world will left you behind. And during that time, I think you won't be able to survive. I mean, you won't be able to survive. You will have a lot of stress. I think, for example, like you don't have a job because everything is automate, and think that's the thing. For example, like in the traditional business, for example, like people open a shop, but due to the COVID, right, people not able to open the shop, and most of the business are mainly on the online business. So this is kind of like a simple example that I can give, and on top of that, for example, from my point of view as a technologist, I'm not a technologist actually, I'm more like IT people. So last time people used to set up a server in their on-prem meaning that in their office. So, but now due to the emerging of the technologies with the Industrial Revolution 4.0, everything is autonomous, and we have like a cloud computing, and we have like the Internet of the Thing. So I think server right now is more on the cloud. So that's mean that you don't need to have a space to put your server. You just need to click. You just need to have an account for the cloud computing. For example, like Amazon Web Services (AWS), or maybe you can open an account for the Google Cloud Services (GCP), or also you can opt for the Microsoft Azure. That's like uh, from Microsoft. I mean, the provider from Microsoft. So people nowadays no need to have no need to buy a server. They just need to open an account with the provider, and then just click, and that's it. The server is ready. So this kind of technology, it require an entirely new mindset and skill. And if you if you didn't upgrade your learning, your knowledge, for example, like if let's say last time I worked to manage a server in the on-premise, but I don't want to move to the cloud. And eventually people, no matter how, they will move their server to the cloud, because the thing is that you no need to buy a like high skill can server on the fly. So these kind of people, for example, like if they didn't think on in the future, so they will be left over at the behind, and then think at the end of the day the job are mainly on those who got a skill in the cloud computing, something like that. It's just like a one um, example that I can give you, since I'm from the IT line. So how to develop, for me is simple: follow your natural curiosity. Imagine you as a child, last time you explore the world for the first time. Maybe um, you like to try this kind of games or this kind of technology, how it works. So I think that's how you be able to learning. And I believe in terms of the knowledge, right? You can opt for free uh, free video in the YouTube. I think a lot of people are sharing their video on how to, for example, like how to fix a door, or how to change your phone, repair your phone. I think the data is, the knowledge is vast out there. You just need to learn, and I think even though you can learn from YouTube, but you still need a guardian, a mentor on that one, because sometimes maybe those sharing their video might not have the correct method. So you still need to have need to have like a guidance during your learning process. So that is the first thing, the first main skill set you must have. As I mentioned, if you don't have this kind of learning agility, then you might left behind. So all good from your end on this skill?
Yep, all great, sir.
All right. Okay. So let's move on the next skill. Right. So I think the next skill is like a common for people, but it's really, really hard to tackle it. So it's a focus attention. So what I can say is we are living in a world with unprecedented stimuli. So what that means is that you will have like a phone rings, or maybe you will get your a phone notification from your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or WhatsApp, or maybe you can get like alert on the calendar alert to for a meeting. So this kind of disruption is kind of madness because your phone is near your body, right? I mean, in your hand. Even though I think maybe some of you will sleep, put your phone under your pillow or maybe next to you. So this kind we can't detach this technology from us. So this type of constant distraction without clarity, it will create a stress because you stress and somehow it can be like a lost productivity and ultimately it will be burnout to yourself. So I think maybe I'm not so sure for the student because I think during my time was Friendster, Facebook just a bit more. So not really much what we call is distraction. So I think each era will have their own kind of distraction. So the thing is that so the only way to regain control is to learn to work with your mind to focus. Yeah, I think this kind of focus is kind of like a practice. You need to keep practice and practice, else you won't be able to what you call you won't be able to focus in a long time. For example, like you need to study for a test, but then your phone is near with you, your computer is in front of you. When you perform your study or you doing your homework, suddenly just people ping you in or Facebook come in. So I think your focus in the thing that you want to work will be wandered around floating. So at the end of the day, the time you spend on those focus will lose and just wasting. I mean, not wasting your time. You might have some learning, but it's not like efficient. So I think this is for the student. While for the people who work, I believe like for me, if let's say I need to solve for a task that has been assigned for me, but then I think during the work time you will facing like a lot of meeting, like a lot of ad hoc tasks. For example, like people just banging your door office, hey Shami, hey, we need this urgently. Kindly help us on this one. So this kind of thing that will come into your daily life. So one thing you need to focus, and then you also need to have a prioritized list. So you will know what kind of thing that you need to, because even though you are focused, but if let's say you are focused on the thing that the prioritize is lesser, for example, like you need to submit a homework or assignment which is due maybe next 2 weeks, but tomorrow you have like a test, but you focus on that one. So it doesn't seems right. So you need to have a balance. You need to have a focus, and on top of that, you need to know the priorities of the task. So I think this is like a common thing, but for me, I just need to stress it out because sometimes myself also lost focus when a lot of things come in. So this is like a kind of reminder for us just to ensure that we focus, because without focus, there's nothing. I mean, the work won't be able to done. Yeah. So that's for the second skill. So all good. Hopefully there is no people fall asleep on this one. Um,
Sir, can I
yeah,
add something, sir?
yeah, sure.
Uh, do you have a tips on how to focus on all of your attention on one thing at a time? Because as we know, we have so many distraction when dealing with our tasks such as
Mm-hmm.
phones, we have laptop and
Yep.
games on. So
Mm.
how to focus all your attention on one things, on one work, on a task at one time?
Okay, thank you. I think you Hadi, is it?
Yes, sir.
Hadi, okay. So well, on this one, I think is focus. So I think first thing you need to ensure that you are far away from this kind of distraction, because even though you just put aside, it will keep you distracted. And on top of that, I believe you might need to specify a time to work on this one, because for us as a human, right? I think the focus that you can go, I think, like 1 hour plus, and on top of that, after 1 hour or 1 hour plus, I think you won't be able to focus. So I think you need to understand how your body reacts. So for example, like maybe you can focus like 30 minutes. So you do on your task, focus 30 minutes, and then you just take a break, maybe like 10 to 15 minutes, maybe just to see the scenery, and then you just focus on that one. And more important, during the focus, right, maybe you can focus on the simple thing, because simple thing, it will make things easier for you to solve, and then you can move on the difficult. So I think that's what my tips on this one. But different people will have their own ways on this one. Yeah, I think hope that I explained well on this one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Any other question? Take a look on the clock. Oh, 18 minutes more. All right. So let's move on the third one. Right. So the third one is the lateral thinking. So lateral thinking, we can also call as creativity, or innovation, or fresh thinking, or etc. So basically, a leader of the future need to be able to connect dots that haven't been connected before in order to create a new ideas. I can say like you take a two different concept and fuse them together to see what new thing is created. uh, this is, I think, essential, because when you have an issue or you need to troubleshoot something, you can't think like straight. You need to think in a different angle how to tackle this one. If let's say you not be able to fix this one, you need to think in a different side, or maybe you just have a discussion. So for example, like this is an example that I just think last night. How to make your online learning effective, because I believe you guys need to take class online, right? So, and then a while you might lose the link, or maybe the material that your lecturers give to you. So why not you put a video link content from your lecturer in of the multiple subject into a Telegram group with bot. So by this way, you can configure a Telegram bot so that it can interact with the user and respond based on what the user want to get the material. This is like something that I think is example from the lateral thinking, because I think last time we don't have telegrams. So during that time we might have need to, like, maybe sometimes I need to check with my friend, think that I miss out, and during that time we have class, right? So I think that is easier, instead of nowadays you guys, with the new norm, more everything is online, so you need to have some way to organize. So this is my thought on, maybe you can create a Telegram group, add a people in that one, and then you create a bot. But I think for the bot you need to learn how to program, which is, that is like this is referring to the first skill, which is learning agility. So you can learn how to Telegram bot. So even though it's not part of your journey as an engineer in, for example, like electrical electronic, but I believe it will help you to ease, or to your daily stuff later on. So that's my idea, and the possibility is endless, with more and more of our logical job being automated. Because this is my point of view from a job perspective, because nowadays a lot of jobs are automated through technologies. So our biggest value added as human become our creativity and ability to think in surprising and new ways. Yeah, so that's thing that we can add it into this skill. And I believe on how to develop. It's kind of like a play game, like a child. When you are a friend, maybe you can challenge yourself to put two concepts together and draw a link, or maybe you can during your what you call during your study group, maybe you can discuss among together how to make things easier, or you can explore dramatically different field. For example, like um, if you are doing electrical electronic or electrical power, why not learning something like IoT? I believe you might have programming classes. I'm not so sure. Last time I was learn C++. I think nowadays the programming language might more advanced. So I think you can learn that earlier. So during the time when you need it, I think it will be made easier. Yep. Right. So any question on this one for the lateral thinking? If no, let me move on the next slide. So the next slide is radical interdependence. So, or we can call it like adult development, or also known as vertical development, describe the phase of maturity from dependent to independent to interdependent. So basically, in essence, dependent people wait for a leader to tell them what to do. So this is kind of like a follower. If the leader doesn't give you instruction, what you need to do next, then you just keep idling. So I think it's not good. I mean, this is like a passive way. So instead of that one, you need to be independent people, which is create a hierarchical guideline to execute a strategic plan. So maybe if let's say people doesn't ask you to do this one, but when you have the lateral thinking, maybe you can see what thing that I can innovate or what thing that I can make things easier. So you do it from your end, and then maybe you can share your thought to your colleague. So it can give a benefit to each of the party. So, and I think this is yes. And then on the third one is the interdependent people facilitate common understanding between people. So basically the third one, the interdependent people, is basically advanced collaboration. Okay, so what it mean by advanced collaboration, meaning that you will try to collab with like a different department instead of electrical electronic student. Maybe you can collab with a mechanical or civil to gain like a new ideas, or maybe you can collaborate with a different university, or maybe expertise from industry. So I think this is something you can take a look to be a leader of the future. So I think this will help you in your journey path. Yeah. So how to develop, I believe, be a person in the group who help create shared understanding. Like I said earlier, don't wait for others to do first. Maybe if you think that this is something that benefit to others, so you just go try to do it, or maybe you can don't try to solve it by yourself. Uh, then get others on board, but rather see how you can facilitate a common vision and purpose for the group. So what I mean is that if let's say you have the idea, don't do it by yourself and then ask them to join. Maybe you can collab with your friend who you think that able to help you. From that one, you can grow your idea into more matured idea, which is I think that will be maybe can give you some opportunity to create a maybe like a startup or maybe like a product that you can sell outside or help people outside, because that is good benefit to the community and to the world. Yeah. Anything on this part? Radical interdependent. I would like to say people nowadays tend to wait. They don't want to act themselves because maybe from them I think in terms of like a worker perspective, right? For example, like your boss give you a task that outside of your job scope, and you think that hey, this is not my job scope, so why should I do? Why should I care? So this kind of thinking or behavior, uh, it will make the organization less creativity, uh, not innovative. So, and on part of that, you will be like people who keep wait at the end of the day for the salary. Just so your life is just go to work and then do your work and then just wait for the salary. I think some people like this one because they no need to think, but but in my opinion, you will be there forever. You won't be able to advance yourself. So, and then people will those people will blame, hey, why the manager doesn't want to increase my salary? I already did this. But you need to see yourself, what have you been done. I mean, even though it's a company or even though it's like for an organization, but I think if you give a best, you will earn more. You will earn more knowledge. Yeah, I think that's what I feel on this one. Right. So the last skill that I would like to explain will be the system thinking. I think this system thinking is something that people lacking nowadays. So everything that you do create a ripple effect. It's like you are in a spider web connected to an invisible string to every person, place, or thing on the earth. So as a leader of the future, you need to be able to see this type of link and understand the broader implication of the decision. So let make it easier with this example. For example, like I believe most of you are first year or second year. So I think on the third year you might need to go for your intern, the industrial training. So I saw that a lot of people apply for the industrial training for the company because I have like my friend who are working as a HR. Some of them are sharing in the group of the IT why this intern do like this one. So for example, like system thinking is that like you want to apply for intern for a company. So you need to think, how should you approach a company? What method? Is it SMS enough or call enough, email or official letter? So you need to think because different method will have a different impact. For example, if let's say you just call asking, okay, that's good. Or maybe you can email, also good. And if let's say we take a look on the email method, so if you use the email method to apply for the intern, so did you email with a proper subject, proper content, or informal, like hey, do you have any job, any intern position, can I apply, something like that. So this will give impact to you or maybe to the university. For example, like if this student from UNITEN do this one, they don't. I mean, doesn't the university tell them how to properly communicate with people in terms of official way? So this can give a impact to the society, people, person. And if let's say if you already got other company for the intern, I mean, first you apply for company A, the company A accept you as the intern, and then suddenly you got another offer from others company, which is company B for intern. Maybe the reason of that near with your house. So how should you react? How should you tell the company A that already accept you as an intern? Is it just SMS, email, call, or you didn't want to, you didn't tell them? So this action will give a impact to you. If let's say you didn't tell the company that you are not showing on the first day of the intern, then company will give like a bad impression. Hey, why this student doesn't come? And they didn't even call me to explain the thing. So it gives you like a bad impression if let's say you are in the field of, for example, like factory. So because this organization, they have their own connection, for example, like factory, if let's say they ban these people because they are giving a bad attitude, so that if let's say you are trying to apply a job position for the different factory but a different company, so maybe they will refer to your previous company. Hey, these people are good, the behavior is good. So if let's say they give like a bad rating on yourself, so that's it, people will mark you. So this is something that a must, even though it's just for a simple way, for example, like parking. If you have a car, how do you normally parking? Is it parking at the OKU, or is it parking at the motorcycle spot? So you need to think, because if let's say you're parking to the OKU part, so it will make things harder for the OKU people to go to that place, and then people will, I think they will angry, they will curse you. So it gives impact, even though you are not hearing they are cursing you, right? But I think as a Muslim, it's better for you to make things easier for people. And how about if you're parking on the motorcycle spot? Maybe you don't feel, you feel that that's okay because there is no motorcycle there. But if let's say somebody want to park there, they won't have any motorcycle parking, so they need to park on the corridor. And then on the corridor, the Majlis Perbandaran will give a summon for them because parking on unallowed. So this kind of implication is like a ripple effect. So your method might give might give a good for people or might give a bad for people. So you need to think on what action you will do in your future. I think it's just a simple. You just think of like not yourself, but you, because you live in a world where you share with people, with the animal, with the every living things in world. So yeah, so that's. I think I got like another 2 or 7 minutes. Right. So on this one, any question? I think we are almost end of the slide. Okay. So let me move on the summary. So I think in the summary, with the phase of change rapidly increasing, you can prepare yourself by developing your learning agility, your focused attention, lateral thinking, radical interdependence, and system perspective, which is system thinking. So each of these skills, I believe it will help you to navigate the noise of change by having a broader perspective and ability to learn from others while thinking creatively about the future. This is not something that you need to focus on this one. This is like what I think is essential for you guys, for me. There are others skill that you might need to learn. You can tackle on that one, but I think as for today, in terms of the audience target, I believe this is something that I think is worth for us to take a look on this one. Yeah. So, right. So, last but not least, from me, good luck. And so think that's all from me. Thank you very much for your time. Yep.